All right, so elapsed time again, and if you're thinking, well, I've already done this, we did, but we're kind of adding in the AM, PM. So I started the video and then I got a call, so I have to start over. So alphabetically, A comes before P, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. AM comes first. So AM, it's kind of like mornings. Mornings come first. Afternoons come after the mornings. And because it's a P, you might want to say past noon, as in after noon. So I talk about that for a little bit. And I tell the kids, you know, AM is midnight. It's like the drawing I showed last night in the video. That, and we could even do it here because they could have their name. Here's midnight, 12 a.m., nighttime with the moon and the stars. That's midnight. So when you wake up and it's dark outside and it says 12, this is midnight. And it's the start of a day. And AM continues all the way into the morning. So you've got 1 a.m. and then 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., so on, 6, and so on. Until you hit 12 lunch. When you hit the lunchtime, you switch from AM to PM. And 12 sunlight, that's the past noon. This is noontime. And then all the hours after that are PMs. Almost makes me want to think about drawing a circle. Let me see if that would work. This may not. But you might talk about how it's nighttime, 12 a.m. This is the middle of the night. It's midnight. And so you go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So one trip around, that's AM, AM, AM. You're waking up for school. A PE, lunch, and then you hit 12 a second time. And when you hit 12 the second time, well, now it's sunny, and this is past noon. 12 noon, 12 sunlight is PM. And then it'll be 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. And you make that full. There's nighttime, here's supper, getting ready for bed, in bed, hopefully. And then you're back to midnight. So this is reinforcing what you've already talked about. So we're going to work on jumping elapsed time, but we're going to work on using AM and PM. And before we start, I'd ask the kids, what does it mean when they ask you how much time has elapsed? That's right, how much time has passed. Elapsed means how much time has passed. So how much time has elapsed? How much time has passed? All right, if you have a start and an end, they're wanting to know how much time has elapsed between them. How much time has passed? So we're going to start with 8 a.m. A comes before P, so this is AM morning. And we're going to need to get to 10:30. How many hours do y'all think we can jump? I like to try 2 at least. Let's see, 8 to 9 to 10. Yeah, we can go to 10 o'clock. So we're going to put plus 2H, so we know it's hours. 8 plus 2 is 10, and we haven't touched the minutes. We need to get to 10:30. Well, you're at 0. What plus 0 makes 30? 30. 0 plus 30 makes 30. And it's still AM. So this is like 8 a.m. start of school. This is 10:30 a.m. You got back from PE. How much time has elapsed? 2 hours and 30 minutes. 2 HRS period, 2 hours and 30 minutes. M-I-N period. Abbreviations require periods. And then I would pull it a little further. What do we know 30 minutes is? Half an hour. So we also could say 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours have passed. Get up, make sure they're doing it, or watch, look around. All right, on this one, we have the start. We know how much time has passed. We just don't know the end. So you're at the start, and you're going to move from the beginning, the start, and we're going to move forward to find the end, like a race. You start and you end. What are we going to jump? Well, 2 hours. So we're going to make a plus 2h, a 2-hour jump, 35 minutes. Well, let's get there in a second. So which one's your hour? 10. So 10 plus 2, 12. 12:20, because we haven't touched the minutes. Now, I recommend 35. I often would recommend like kids jumping by 10s, 10, 20, 35. However, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do 30. And then I'm going to jump 35. Talk to the kids, though. I know I did in Miss James's room today that I can do 35. Another kid could do 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5. There's no wrong way, but you should be using jumps. I did this because I know 2 plus 3 is 5. So 20 plus 30 is 50. So now it's 12:50. 5 more minutes is 12:55. Now, when you're writing the time, notice these have AMs and some have PMs. So how do I know if it's AM or PM? Did you pass a 12 o'clock? Yes, you had when you hit a 12, you switched from AM to PM. So our ending time is 12:55 PM, which would be a lunchtime, PM, past noon. So if you pass a 12 in your jumps, you flipped from AM to PM or PM to AM. Look at the next one. What are we missing? The start. All right, well, that means we're at the end. We're at 7:05 p.m. So is this 7:05 in the morning or is this 7:05 at night? That's right, nighttime, because P is past noon. P comes after the letter A. So evenings come later. And we need to go back to the beginning 3.5 hours. Well, let's draw a clock right here. A circle. Cut it in half. Hi-ya! How many minutes are half an hour? 30 minutes, right? Let's label it. All right, so we're going to go back minus 3 hours, because back. 30 minutes. Well, let's get there in a second. 7 minus 3 is 4. And we haven't changed the minutes, so it's 4:05. Now, here's what I was showing in Miss James's class. We need to go back 30. But I don't think it would make sense to do 5 minus 30. So here's what would make sense. Jumping back 5 minutes, because I know 5 minus 5 is 0. Now, we need to jump back 30. How many have we jumped? 5. So how many are we left with? 25, right? Well, and I'm going to move my 4 o'clock down here because I don't like how it's floating in the air here. So we need to move back 25. Well, I'm going to be smart and do minus 10, minus 10, minus 5. 10, 20, 25, 30. There's our 30 minutes. Now, here's the thing. 12 o'clock on a clock. 12 can be 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Or, that's if you're working forward. If you're going backwards, though, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So 12 can be 0, 5, 10, 15, or it can be 60, 55, 50, 45, 40. So if I'm at a full hour holds 60 minutes. So I'm going to roll from 4 o'clock back to 3 o'clock. And 60 minutes minus 10. Well, you're changing the tens digits. 6 drops down 1 to 50. The 50 minus 10 drops to 40. And 40 minus 5, not 45, we're not adding, backwards would be 35. 3:35. Now, along your jumps, did we ever pass a 12 o'clock? No. So it's still p.m. 3:35 p.m. All right, on this one, what are we missing? We're missing the elapsed time. What does that mean? That's right, how much time has passed? So we're working from 9:25 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Well, a.m., p.m. a.m. to p.m. That seems... What's up with that? Different time of day, right? So this is 9:25 a.m. as in the morning, like when y'all are about to go to PE. This is 10:30 p.m. past noon. This is nighttime. That is a long jump. That means you went from 9:20 in the morning all the way to 9:20, 10:20, 10:30 at night. How can we make such a large jump? I would jump 12 hours. Because if it's 9 a.m. and we need to get p.m., we need to jump 12 hours to get from 9 to 9. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So here's what I'm going to do. Plus 12h. 12 hours is the same time, different time of day. I went from 9:25 a.m., like almost PE, to 9:25 p.m., about to go to bed, if I'm not already in bed. I need to get to 10:30. So what could we jump? Another hour, because 9 plus 1 is 10. I need to get to 10:30. So what would I add? 5 is right. 25 plus 5 is 30. How much time has passed? How much time has elapsed? A total of 13 hours and 5 minutes. We do not write it like this. It's not a time on a clock. We write 13 hours and 5 minutes. What are we missing? We're missing the end. So we're going to start at the beginning. And we're going to move forward. How much are we going to move forward? 4 hours. How many do y'all want to jump at a time? 2? Okay. So 2 plus 2 makes 4 hours, right? So 10 plus 2 is what? 12:45. Now this is weird because 12 plus 2 is 14, but there's not a 14 on a clock. So 12 plus 2, 1, 2 takes us to 2 o'clock. So now it's 2:45. That's the 4 hours. Now what do we want to jump? 20 minutes. 10. Let's jump 10. 45 plus 10. 45 jumps up to 55. I don't want to jump another 10, and let me tell you why. Because in 5 minutes, it's going to be 2:60. And what do we know about 60 minutes? 60 minutes is actually an hour. So 2 plus another hour is 3 o'clock. We need to jump 20 minutes. So far we've jumped 10, 15. How many more do we need to jump? 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. 0 plus 5. AM or PM? Well, we're in AM. Did we ever pass a 12? Yes. If you've passed a 12, you flipped from AM to PM. So our ending time is 3:05 PM. All right, we're missing the beginning, so we're going to start at the end. And we're going to move backwards a quarter of an hour. A quarter. I want y'all to draw a clock. How many quarters are in an hour? 4. A quarter is 1/4. So that'd be at 12, 1, 2, 3, right? 5, 10, 15. So a quarter is 15 minutes. Even if they know it, doesn't hurt them to shade it and see it. So a go, we're going to go backwards 15 minutes. Well, do y'all want to jump back 15? Why not? Yeah, you only have 10. 10 minus 15 doesn't seem smart. So I'd say minus 10, because 10 minus 10 is 0. Now, if we need to go back 15, how many more do we need to jump? Minus 5? All right, well, if we're rolling backwards, 3 rolls to 2. And if you're going backwards, you're starting with the full 60 minutes and subtracting 5. So we're going to end up at 2:55. Did you pass at 12 o'clock? No. So you are still PM. And then the back, I just put some more different practice ones. And depending on time, here's what I would do. I would say, okay, y'all, because this is all we're doing tomorrow. Tomorrow, the first thing, you could even skip fluency one day if you needed to. The first thing y'all should do is, well, I would say model some of the ones y'all did for homework, but honestly, you're doing more practice today. So actually, I wouldn't. Because if I'm doing the same skill, there's no point in going over the homework when it's the same skill. So I would do these notes. Let's say that takes 30 minutes. Well, you could say, all right, I'm going to give you all 20 minutes to do this, and then we're going to check it, because it's just practice. You could let them work in their table groups. If you don't want to do that, lead them through it. Either way, it's all practice. Same thing.